Hi, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Empowering Intuitives Talk Show. And I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Michelle Walker. I am a psychic medium, medical intuitive, and author of Empowering Intuitives. This is what we do here at Empowered Wellness. So, tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about muscle testing. And I know we've talked about that in the past just a little bit. And a lot of people use pendulums. What I hear from a lot of newer intuitives is, how do I trust the information that I'm getting? And I think that's a big thing for a lot of us, is that we may get information, it may be subtle, and we may be like doubting it and not really trusting it. So there are some ways. Of course, pendulums are great, but if you don't have one, there's 3 different ways that you can do some muscle testing. No matter where you're at, you could be in the middle of a store, you could be in a meeting, you could be anywhere, and you could do these things and get that information and tap into your subconscious and receive that information from your higher self. So muscle testing is great. Before I do any kind of muscle testing, you want to quickly center yourself. And when you learn to do this, and like anything else, right? When you learn to do something, you do it slow, you take your time, you really feel it, and you engross yourself into it. And then when you want that same experience, you can tap in a lot quicker. So for me at this point, I'm just like, boom, I can literally blink and have the whole column of light from the core of the new earth up into the heavens and just be completely surrounded by it. But I'm going to break it down for you. So what I want you to do before we do the muscle testing is I want you to just to kind of close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to just relax, go with the flow, and really experience this to see what you get from it, okay? So I want you to just close your eyes and picture and imagine this beautiful white golden light coming down from the heavens. And it's coming down slowly. It's going over the top of your head, or the crown chakra. And you want to picture and imagine like you're an empty vase, and it's coming down, and it's going down through your whole body. So it's coming from your head, and you can feel it moving down your eyes and down your mouth and down your neck, and just allow it to like pour down on the inside, down your arms, down your back, down your spine, down your abdomen, down your hips, down your legs. And you want it just to go right out to the core of the new earth, right? And just feel that flow of energy. It's a constant flow of divine light washing over you. It's pushing out any negativity and any impurities, and allow it just to raise your vibration and tune you up and make you feel surrounded in that. So when you feel it coming down, I want you to start to picture it expanding out like a big column of light. And for any of you people that love Star Trek, beam me up, Scotty, like that whole column of light, that's exactly what I want you to picture. This gorgeous, white, golden light just surrounding you, and you are in the center of it. Nothing can touch you. You are completely surrounded by the divine. This is a great thing to do just to tune yourself up as soon as you wake up, put yourself in the divine flow, as I like to call it. And whatever you're doing from there is surrounded and divinely protected, right? So when you do any kind of muscle testing and you're asking for that internal guidance, why not put yourself in this column of light and make yourself be a little bit more centered, a little bit more purposeful with it, and know that you're receiving divine intervention, divine guidance. You're getting it from your subconscious, yes, but part of you is in the divine as your higher self. And this is where you're going to be able to tap in and gain that information. Okay, so muscle testing. One of my favorite ways to do it is, if you can see, I'm rubbing 2 fingers together and just letting them very fluidly rub together. And then you say to spirit, show me yes. Okay, it feels very fluid. I can just continue to rub, and I'll say, show me no. And boy, within a second, it's like I have glue. My fingers are glued together here. And so I'll say, okay, thank you. Thank you for showing me that. Show me a no. Whoop. And again, boom. like glue. My fingers are stuck together. Okay. So practice that. And when you get a good sense for it, then you can begin to ask yes and no kind of questions like you would with your pendulum. The other one is interlocking your fingers from both the hands. You're going to interlock your thumb and your first finger, and you're going to say, and you're going to try to pull it apart, and you're going to say, show me a no. And it's like you got the strength of 5 people here. Then you say, show me a yes. And it opens up real easily. So you can try. So show me no. Nope, it's not opening. And a yes, it breaks very, very easily. So those are 2 simple ways to do it, right? Now, if you want to play along, stand up, and I want you to stand up and just close your eyes. And I want you to say to yourself, yes, yes, yes. And notice which way your body sways. Will it send you forward? Will it send you backwards? Once you get that, we'll stop. Thank Spirit. I always like to thank Spirit for being so clear and concise with their answers. So when they're doing something, I'm validating that I'm experiencing it. Thank you. I get it. Thank you. I got that. So, okay. So now what you want to do while you're still standing is you're going to say no, 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 and see which way your body goes. Your body will naturally sway. So this is such a wonderful way for you to use your body to help you validate the information. Maybe you had a gut instinct about somebody. With me, sometimes it's just random things. They'll say, don't do that, go do that, do that. I get a lot of guidance and direction. And sometimes I'm like, wait a minute, is that do I really need to be worried about this situation? And I may start to ask other questions to whittle it down to help me understand the situation bigger, right? But it's also great for, is this the right time for me to look for a new job? Is this the right time for me to look for a new vehicle or be in a relationship? Or you can, yes and no questions, right? That's all you want to ask here. But one, it's a lot of fun to play with. I love being able to use your body and validate the information, And if you're stubborn like me, Spirit gives it to me many, many ways. They're very, very clear, but I don't always pay attention. And I tend to argue with them if it's a drastic thing that they're asking. So, but use this for your highest good. You can use this across the board in any situation. But remember, it feels totally different. And you can play with this as well. I'm a very healthy skeptic and I like to do my own research here, but you may want to try doing it not in the column of light and then do it in the column of light and see how that feels different. It feels completely different. So have fun with that, play with that, and you guys let me know how that goes. I think that is going to be fantastic for you. All right, so let's take a call here. We have Krista in New York. Hi, Krista, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in. Is there a particular area you would like me to look at for you tonight?
I love when that passed.
Okay. All right. Well, I pulled a card here first, and it says, open your heart to love, the beginning of a new intimate relationship or the rebirth of a current one, the awakening of psychic abilities or spiritual epiphanies. So the fairies have that clear message for you as the Ace of Summer comes forward. And this card is just, you see the dove just opening up and really letting yourself fly a little bit. So I hope that resonates with you a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I feel like you've been very guarded with your feelings and emotions, and Spirit is wanting you to know that it's time. It's time to step into your power and stop reliving the movie. Okay. And I feel like that may have to do with more than one person that has passed. And sometimes
Yeah.
does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
I have a mom like energy, whether is your mom in spirit or is it grandma that's in spirit?
I have a grandma, and I have one of my son's grandma that was like a mom to me. I called her mom.
Okay. Oh, that's the one. That's the one. Because I'm like, I always get confused when it's grandmas, but they stand in as mom. So, yeah, this is who's coming forth first and foremost. And I feel like she was a force to be reckoned with, if that makes sense to you.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
she didn't pull one punch. She meant what she said, and she was a very straight shooter. And I just see her like she would scoop everybody up. I feel like she was the one that everybody went to. She'd help anybody,
Yes.
give you a shirt off her back. And at one point, I feel like maybe even like took in other kids or just always
Yeah.
feeding.
She
And
adopted like 17 kids.
oh gosh, okay, that makes perfect sense because I'm
Yeah.
just like, well, I just see her just like completely like her arms are just not big enough to surround the people that she considers family.
Yeah. Yeah,
um,
with her.
she wants you to know that now, do you have a son?
I do.
She's talking about the son, and she's saying, you know, he's a lot like you in a lot of ways, but he's a little bit more sensitive. And sometimes it's hard to find the line because he doesn't always let you know that he's taking things to heart. Would you understand that?
Yes, I do.
And she says, he's a very strong empath, and it's very important that harshness, and what she means by harshness is like a lot of chaos or confusion or arguing, or you know what I mean, like that is
Yes.
way
Yes.
overwhelming for him. He needs a very neutral kind of calm kind of environment. And so she's saying something about, I don't know if he likes to like play video games that are more
Yes.
aggressive
Yes,
or
he does.
violent. And she says that's like the worst thing for him. But part of it is well, one, she's saying that a lot of his friends are playing them. So, of course, he wants to play them. But it's almost like he's trying to get him toughen himself up by doing that. But it's actually not that good for his emotions. And it tends to make
Right.
him a little bit more short tempered, if you understand that.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So she's saying something about his diet. He doesn't do good with caffeine, red dyes. Like he really shouldn't have any of that kind of stuff and cut back on the processed food. And then she's laughing because he's very picky. And she's like, he's not going to like
Yes.
this at all.
Yes. Yep.
and but she says that's what you need to do here. She wants to let you know that you're doing a great job. I feel like you're second guessing and beating yourself up a lot lately, and she's just like, honey, you're doing a great job. Hang in there, you're gonna get through this. There's so much up and downs, when it
Yes.
comes to this crazy life. And she wants you to know that one, you're doing a great job. Two, stop being so hard on yourself. Three, do a little bit more for yourself. She says the only reason why she was able to do that she was able to do is because she did take just a teeny little bit of time for herself. And I feel like it was at the end of the day, she reserved like a half an hour that was just her time. Would you understand that?
Yes, I do. Yep.
She says that was her sanity. And though most people probably need more than a half an hour, but you need at least to take that. You really, truly need to honor that and not feel like you're taking away from the family and the kids, but really know that that's part of daily life. Brush your teeth, check. Take self-care, check, check. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
She's also
Yeah.
asking
I
that.
don't give myself time.
Yes. And she's asking that you not worry so much about money. I feel like that's come up recently and you're really stressed a little bit about that, more than normal. Would you understand that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
She says, you know, God always finds a way and it always comes around to you. So just think about that in your own life. Even when you didn't have a whole lot, God always provides. I feel like I don't know that you would have found her at church every week, but I feel she was very,
Oh
very
yeah.
spiritual and very religious
Yep.
with her connection with God. And um, I feel, tried to instill that with you and all of the kids, that's where you derive your power from. And it's really
Yep.
important that you trust that. You understand?
I do.
And is there also a concern about a car? Because she's saying something about a car, and you don't have to buy a new one right now.
Yeah.
So she's saying, just breathe. It's going to be okay. It's like sometimes there's so many things coming at you at once, it just gets overwhelming. And that's normal, she says. So please understand that that is normal, okay? And
Okay.
you're navigating it well. You don't believe that about yourself, but she's telling you, I'm watching you and I'm seeing your growth. And she says, you've come a long way, darling, from that really rebellious teenager.
Yeah.
She's laughing.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that one. She says, boy, that one, you gave her a run for her money at times, but you always maintained the respect. You always came back to the respect, even when you pushed hard up against it, she said.
Yep. I did.
So this is just her way of letting you know she's aware about what's going on. She says, don't worry so much about your son. He's going to be okay. He's a more of a sensitive kind of guy. If you can help him with the diet and things like that and eating a little bit cleaner, he's going to feel so much better. Also, pay
Yeah,
attention.
I've been trying. It's hard.
I know. She's also saying about his diet, you also have to make sure he's taking a multivitamin because he needs some extra vitamin D and he needs those trace minerals. So he really does need that. So I don't know if he's been fighting you on taking one or something like that, but she's like, you got to find a way to get one. Okay.
Okay.
She just wants you to know that the next maybe 6 months moving into the new year, towards the end of this year, it's still kind of like trudging through mud. It's like you make very little progress and it's frustrating. She's like, it's that ebb and flow of that. But trust, as spring comes next year, even before spring, she's like February, March, she's like, big change, big shift. So trust the process, trust and know that you're getting a lot of guidance from spirit to help support you at this time. And don't forget, she said, bend a knee. You understand what she means?
Yes, I do.
All right, sweetie. I'm going to leave that with so much love for you. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. We have another caller. We have Sharon in Toronto, Canada. How are you, my dear?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for asking. And is there any area that you would like me to look at for you tonight?
Yeah. How do I say it? There's just a really bad situation happening right now, and I just want to know if there's going to be any peace to it.
Okay. All right. Well, as I was shuffling, your card flew out of the deck. So let's see what this says. 10 of Autumn. Take steps to ensure your financial security of your children or other loved ones. Make wise investments or planning for retirement. Honoring family traditions. Does this seem to line up with what you were just talking about?
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. I have children. I have 3 children, and I'm having a really hard time with my oldest right now. Very, very hard time with my oldest son.
So your father's in spirit, is that correct?
Yes, my dad is in spirit.
So he's stepping forward and he's saying, and I feel like maybe you would understand him. He was very black and white about topics. And He would not have put up
Yeah,
with a lot of shenanigans. Would you understand that?
yeah,
And so, because I feel
yeah,
very firm. As soon as you start talking about your son, he decided he wanted to come forward and talk to you about this. He said, it takes a firm hand, but he's not respectful. And you trying to um, reel him in, it's just like this. You guys are just pushing up against and butting up against each other's energy, very harsh. He's saying
yeah,
that he's saying, I understand, and he would have done doing the same things that you were doing, but he's saying it's not working. So what you need to do is look at it from a different situation. Okay. You need to give him choice. Say, okay, this is what I need you to do. You can either do it this way or this way, and that's your choice. Choose either way and then do it. But he has to have the sense that he's making the decisions for his own life. It doesn't matter his age. He has to feel like he's making the decisions. So you have to set him up with kind of like looser guidelines, but yet he's going to still get to the same place he needs to get. Either way that he chooses it. It's like that old, if you ask someone to put the dishes away and you like your dishes to be a specific way, and they're going to do the dishes any which way they want, and it drives you crazy, and it's not worth fighting about because they're getting done either way. So that's the analogy that he's giving you. Do you understand this?
yes, I do.
And he's also saying,
how do I say, sorry.
He was also saying that, now I don't know if there's particular issue with like maybe drugs you're concerned about because of behaviors. Is that making sense?
I'm sorry.
I said he's talking about maybe he's talking about maybe you're concerned about drug use or the erraticness of the behaviors.
Yeah. Well, he's engaged, and I just feel like I just feel like maybe, I don't know. It's terrible to even think that his fiance would have anything to do with this, but I just feel he's turned against his whole family, and he's getting married next year. I don't even think I'm going to the wedding, and they're having a baby. Uh-huh.
So, but here's the thing. It's just ripping
me apart.
But here's the thing. He has to feel he is in charge of his own life, and he wants your approval, but he is going to push you away and against it if there's any resistance. So what you have to find is a way to be mom when that role has completely shifted, if you understand, because he's not going to come to you for any guidance. He's not going to come to you for, it's almost like for a while you're going to have to, I don't want to say it like fight to be in his life, but that's kind of like, what you're doing. And so there's another way to go about it, is just to kind of go like, okay, I'd like to see you. Let me know when you're available. Not, you never come over anymore. Don't go into the negative Nancy. Go say, I really would like to see you. Are you free for lunch this week? Or I can cook. We can go out. I just want to spend like 10 minutes. Do you have 10 minutes on the phone? Like try to make it like it's not a big heavy, and try to make it all positive for a while, because he has to see you're not a threat to his mental well-being.
He thinks I'm a terrible person.
He thinks that
all of a sudden, after 28 years,
he wants to do what he wants to do, and he doesn't want you to disagree with him. And you're in a very difficult situation, because the woman that he's with is also very headstrong, and if she puts her foot down, that's it, And so it's a very hands-off kind of relationship, but you can get in his good graces by honoring who you are and being who you are and being available. And so that if that means you're sending texts, I hope you're doing well. I'm just checking in. How's how's so and so doing? How's the pregnancy? I'm just sending good wishes. And he may or may not respond, and that's okay. You're going to have to put it out there. I feel like there will be a turnaround, but it's not for a while. It's not for a while, and there's going to be continued. It's all in how you do this. Yeah. But think about it this way. Spirit is saying, but you raised a strong boy. So be proud of that. He has his own mind. He wants to do what he wants to do. And so be proud of the fact that he is out there doing his thing. He's working it. He's got a job. He's doing it. And he's young. He's going to have a lot of ups and downs. You want him to be able to come to you, but he's not going to, because that is how stubborn he is. And he's extremely stubborn. And your father is saying, I think he gets it from me. But he goes, you're really stubborn too. So he comes by this honestly. But he wants you to know that saying you're sorry goes a long way. Because I'm sorry?
I said 1,000,000 times. I keep saying it over and over and over again.
But you need to start to learn to forgive him, forgive you, and allow the situation to start to shift. The other thing you can do is something called Ho'oponopono. And I feel like you can look that up and start to work, take out a picture of him and start to do this work through the picture. And that will start to shift the energy between the two of you. But it's going to take time, my dear. So we're going to send a lot of love and light surrounding your situation. But Dad just wants you to know he's aware and he is helping guide it from above. So I leave that with much love for you, my dear. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, my dear. Well, thank you guys for coming in on for another show. And I hope that you guys have a terrific week. And I'll see you back here next week. Namaste.